So I want to acknowledge that I'm speaking to you today from the lands of the Cammeraygal people. I would also like to extend my respect to elders past and present and any First Nations people watching. Sovereignty was never ceded. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here once again chatting with about the incredible series Warrior Nun and the awesome representation that the show provides, as usual, with a very special guest. Joining me today is the show's most morally, I'd say, complicated of characters. In season 2, we see a very different Jillian than we see in season 1. She's desperate to discover not only the secrets of the other side, but more importantly, discover what's happened to her son. So I'm just so excited and overjoyed and speaking very fast to welcome the incredible Thekla Reuten. Yay!
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So in your own words, just to start us off, who is Jillian Salvius?
Jillian, I think, is a very convinced hardcore scientist, very passionate, very fascinated by everything she, even before we meet her in the first season, has been up to, has been discovering. She's very much a fighter against the patriarchy, the Vatican, and specifically in the time that we meet her, trying to really prove them wrong in a way. To me, it was always very evident also in season 1 that she's also a really loving mother.
Yes.
Although her road to motherhood has been really special and exceptional in the sense that she couldn't have a child, and then she kind of in her own scientific way made sure that she did have one. And then ends up with a very complex situation because he's ill. And so the love for her son and her scientist heart are from the start in a really complicated
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's it's very evident in that complicated sort of gray morality that she has. It's, that science, that love, but it's sort of being expressed in maybe seemingly awkward ways because of how complicated everything is.
And also almost like, was she punished, for having forcing a child into the world, which is like very complicated, and then you love your son, like you would.
Yeah.
So it's also morally really weird.
Yeah. So great. So how was it like for you to act and embody that really complicated story and bring that to life?
Well, I just as with every role, I just try to stick to the most truthful place that she can be in, which is in her case a fighter. When in the first season especially, you see her up against the Vatican.
Absolutely.
And she's a very strong-willed person, so she's not easily shaken by any attack in that sense. And also because on a private level she has to fight as well, and also is in constant dealing with her guilt, I think, towards Michael. I just kept her quite clear-headed, with the emotion constantly, underneath. Yeah,
definitely.
Because she wants to make the best of her time with Michael and take care as best as she can.
Yeah. I thought that it was I love that like simmering under the surface of emotion that you see from her constantly. And I think one of the only times it really comes out is her like frustration moments where she's just like not knowing what else to do, but almost tearing her hair out. Like when she's caught behind the glass with Mother Superior and she's just like, I don't know what to do.
Because once the nuns come into her life, basically it's but she's a very solitary person. She's very well to do. She has any sources that she would need, but still she is quite secluded in her lab, and also hardly a social life. So but once they come into her life, and especially second season, that's next level. It's like she's in a crazy movie.
It's like being sort of yoinked into a team that she didn't know she was ever going to be a part of. So I really love that sort of we progress from that relationship with childhood Michael through this desperation to find him, and then we get these really lovely scenes with the discovery of her adult son, and from the crazy chaos, which is the beautiful story of Warrior Nun. So how was it for you to work so closely with Jack in those really highly emotional and moving scenes?
Well, it's really funny because we never did any press on Warrior Nun.
Yeah.
I never told this story, but I think it's worth telling. It's very funny. Because of COVID, we were in a really weird process that we had to quarantine, and I have a family with me on. I have my 2 boys with me, and so, long story short, I had not read all episodes yet, because you don't get them like all in at once. So I had not read everything yet, and I was in makeup just after my quarantine doing the makeup tests, and in comes this really handsome young man saying, "Well, oh, hello, mother." And I'm like, "Hello, mother? What is he talking about?" And then the makeup lady says, "You don't know?" I said, "No, I don't know." What? I was like, "What?" So literally just by his greeting me, I realized that this. So I almost had like a tiny Jillian moment.
Yeah. Being like, who are you?
You? Wow, you're really handsome, and how are you? So I was delighted. And then I started reading the scripts, and I found out this. I don't know. I think it's even you can almost not play it. I mean, how can you even process this as a person? I have 2 little boys. One is 7, so it's almost like the age that went. I don't know. So I really, it was amazing to play that moment, and working with Jack. He's a lovely, lovely, sensitive actor.
Yeah,
really beautiful and beautiful person as well. So, and this meeting was the perfect intro, and from then
nice and
onward,
organic,
very organic, and so it was needed as well for the scenes, is that we just really opened up.
Yeah.
Present in every cell, and just listen to each other, and be with each other, and be with this huge emotion for him as well, because he's torn like hell as well. So it was lovely working with him, really lovely.
It sounds it. From doing all of these chats, I have sort of learnt how much love you all have for each other. It really sounded like a very dynamic working unit. Sort of, I would love to touch on sort of what we spoke about before, the fact that it did feel like Jillian was being sort of more ingrained in the team, and for you as well, you were working a lot more in the ensemble in season 2 than you were in season 1. So
I didn't leave that building in season. I was like, "Oh, where did you guys go? And what did you do?" I'm like, "I'm only in this building, and it was hot, and it was true." That's that about season 2.
So what was it like for you to sort of, I don't know, make these because I'm sure that you spoke with the rest of the cast in season 1, but what was it like for you to actually connect with them on screen and with the characters more so than with the people, like being ingrained in that ensemble?
Really, I really loved it. And it was like, also it was even emphasized because we were in this COVID time, so we had to be in one hotel, and so for me, truly, I only got to know them much better, like a few of them, because some of them were like always on set when I was off, or just a little how it organically goes. Especially with Lorena, for example, I hang out a lot, and I got to know Mina and Jack, of course, and Christina, and it was just really lovely to get to know them after having seen them more in the season than having met. But I mean, also season 1 was there was this really united feeling, because we had the table reads every time, so we would meet up with everyone and hang out. It was in the director's house, and so there was a big connection. And I don't know, it's really hard to perceive maybe for viewers, but when there's so much CGI and there's so much in the series that we just have to, especially the nuns, have to trust and surrender themselves to, without really knowing. We really trusted Simon and all the people, really great crew.
Of course,
But that's also very uniting project. We're in this together. What's this going to be like? What world is this? What is this going to be? So it was great.
No, that is so beautiful. And I love that you spoke about being able to spend so much time with Lorena, because I think those moments between Lilith and Jillian are some of my favorite in the early part of season 2. Because they are so similar but competing in so many ways. So especially that moment where Lilith is coming into the compound and she's waiting outside, and then she's just like, no, I'm just coming in. And Jillian's like, oh, okay. Like, it's funny.
Getting
And
my house fun.
yeah, I know, just essentially breaking in. It does speak to that comedy in Warrior Nun, but it does also talk, on the bigger thing of how intense the entire experience is. So like playing those big intense scenes like the one you had with Lilith, or the one with Sylvia DeFanti in that when she died, when Mother Superior died, how were those scenes for you, working fundamentally as an actor to bring those to life?
Well, it's especially with Sylvia, the scene you're touching upon, huge emotions and almost so big that you can only implode at certain points. And especially that one, the horror of what suddenly is happening in her house. It's just like,
it feels personal, right? That it's happening like in her house.
Like, I mean, of course, I let them in because I do feel I relate to their fight, and I want to be there for them. I think, because it's very funny. We spoke a lot about, like, we never see them hang out in Jillian's house off screen. Like, what is in between these? Where do they have, like, all have a room, and is someone making their beds, or I don't know how does it work? It's fun to fantasize about, but yeah, from that point, letting them in, and then this horror happening with half of the Vatican coming in and the whole bloodiness of it. At a certain point, I think what I like, and that's what I would be curious about for season 3, is that Jillian is so much in her head. She's such a rational and person, and I guess it has to become this forceful and bloody for her. She was becoming so physical then that she also spits, and she just can't go anywhere with it's so much that I would look forward to her becoming really physical somehow.
Absolutely.
Very different in season 3. I think it's like something has snapped inside her, and it's like,
well, like, I'm sure that would only get more so once she's learned about what's happened to Michael, because bless his soul, I don't think much he's coming back from that one, you know what I mean? Like, it seemed pretty final. So I completely agree, and I think a lot of fans would love to see her just get so unhinged and be like, nah, that's it for me.
She could really go very, very wild and become a fighter for.
Absolutely. Do you think she'd join the OCS in that case, or would she go a more solo Batman route?
I kind of like that. I think she would always be very linked to them. So it depends on what they would be doing. But I mean, if I've always imagined that they would join forces.
Yes, absolutely.
And also embrace sort of a bigger fight even.
Well, I know we're talking about this as though season 3 is a given. That being said, the fans are still fighting, and I don't think anything's going to stop them from that fight. They are so dedicated. But I think that with this holy war that Simon and the writers put up, it would be very cool to see sort of all of the branches that are out there come together to fight that. So that's one of the many reasons.
Patriarchy is not rooted out, so it could really use some more work.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's also one of the things that I love the most about Warrior Nun, is that although it is in this big sort of fictional and larger than life world, it is so grounded in those fundamental struggles that are so abundant and growing, even though people think that they're not. Which
it's why I joined. It's literally why I joined, because I read it and I was asked to do a casting, and I said I really want to talk to I didn't know him yet, but to Simon, the showrunner, and because I need some connection on this, because and I said to him, I don't know anything about manga, I'm like, what is this about? And he started talking about the deeper level of it. And then I connected to that. And I was like, oh, wow, indeed. Like in my earlier work or something, it would be more serious things that would address those subjects. But I thought, of course, it makes so much sense to make something completely different that attracts people and young people, and then give them something, but underneath they will feel what this is about. They connect. So I love that it really played out that way, and that people and fans feel so, you know, empowered by it and recognized by it. Even though it's such a different world. I love that.
Yeah, hugely so. And with how connected the fan base is to this show, like I said, they're not going to stop fighting. And it's not just because they think the show is fun. It is because they see themselves and they see strong women. They see beautiful representations of queerness and of strength in ways that you don't get in many shows. And unfortunately, with, you know, not sure if, you know, this is in your world, but more and more shows every week, it seems, that have strong female leads and strong queer leads are getting cancelled. And so it is, anytime that is there, fans are going to, especially if it's done well, are going to grab it and go, this is going to live in my heart because we need this, you know? So
and I think the beauty is that this is quite a while ago. First season was cast like way before. And what I love is that I really feel genuinely that Simon just cast 5 women that he loved. He didn't think about representation, which often, let's be honest, it often happens. Like, we need to have this. Or
the checking the box, right?
They were all had this fighting skills in each in their own way, and then it turned out to be this amazing palettes. Do you say that? Palettes? And
absolutely.
So I think maybe that's also what one can feel. It's not set up in a way to please, but it's just genuinely what they wanted to do.
Exactly. And isn't that the most beautiful thing, is when the people who are the best for the jobs are also people who are providing representation for all the communities. You know what I mean? Like, that is true power to the viewers when you're seeing people who look like you, who are also the best people for the job. And I think Simon, when I spoke to Simon, he did talk to how effortless creating this beautiful, not only on screen, but behind the scenes, the writers and everybody, it was, it just was natural that it was such a intersection of communities, because everybody was the best person for the job. Which I think also
heads of department, like costume and art department, they're just amazing. So it's true.
And I think also this is, you know, I don't have to say this, but like, that is talking to your talent, that you were the best for Jillian, and you have provided so many fans with an amazing connection to this complicated mother figure, that you are a fan favorite, no doubt. I think everybody, if not has a deep love for Jillian, really loves the way that you portrayed her. So just from the bottom of my heart, from the fans' hearts, I like to be a bit of a conduit from their hearts to you. Thank you for being Jillian Salvius. Thank you for being a part of the show. And also just, you know, thank you for doing what you do. And like you said, putting stories that are important on the screen. It's it's hugely significant. And
like I said, you start making this and you don't really know what it's going to be like, and you trust Simon, everyone, but then to get the feedback that we got is really heartwarming and very stimulating.
I got, fortunately, like, sort of, you know, like a stage hook, like yoinked into the fandom, and I do feel so much how much love everybody does have for you guys, and for everybody who's even a part of the show or doing these interviews like we have been. Like, it's just, there is so much love to be given, and to be given to any network who's going to pick up Warrior Nun season 3. So just, you know,
by the way.
By the way. So
great that it was in Time magazine, though. I really love that they picked it up as something really special that had happened, because it's really unique.
Huge.
And I'm really in awe of their unitedness and power to, you know, get the billboards out there.
Absolutely. The billboards that were opposite, like, the New York Times offices, and just, they do so much and they move so fast.
Respect.
Huge respect. So just sort of finishing up here with our questions, do you have any messages for these fans who are fighting so hard for a season 3, any sort of power on messages, or, you know, sit down, have a cup of tea messages, whatever you'd like to say.
Do always sit down and have a cup of tea in general. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's the first time, like literally in history, this is happening, right? That a fan base is calling out saying, no, we don't agree with this.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I respect them also if they drop the ball and say, okay, we did everything we wanted. And then already it's absolutely amazing and kind of historic to make
absolutely huge.
And it'd be also really interesting to see where it, you know, could go. And if it, you know, if you could keep it going, it'd be really interesting. What would be, what is the possibility of it? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they've really spoken to other networks or, you know, how that works, but, you know, they are fighting each other for anything. So you can make use of the, you know, the an animosity between the networks.
Yes, absolutely. I think just like fight. But most of
all, respect and thank you for doing it. And I think regardless of what happens, it's a confirmation that stories that have these, you know, characters or this type of, you know, emotional journey in it need to be made. And, you know, even if it's a new one, there will be another one.
Absolutely.
Simon will stop making stuff.
Simon, Sarah, and everybody will just keep working. That's what you get when you get fantastic people in the industry. They'll make things people want to see. So that's sort of where the Warrior Nun questions kind of wrap up. Do you have any upcoming projects that you would like fans to keep an eye out for? Anything exciting coming up for you?
Well, very different things. I'd say there's a film that's really close to my heart. Another very emotional mother role, which is called Narcosis. Yeah. And we were the Dutch Oscar entry this year. We didn't make it into a nomination, but it was really, really nice. And it's traveling now. It's going places and it's being sold. So keep an eye out for it, it will be on any streamer. But please watch it on a big television.
Okay. Okay.
Also, the DOP won an award in Holland as well for it because it was amazing, the images. Yeah. So that one, because it's really close to my heart. And there's another thing that I've been doing. I don't have a huge part in it, but I think it's going to be really exciting and fun. There's a new series from Amazon, Citadel. And the American version is coming out now, I think in March. Sure. But there's an Italian series as well. And it's not a spin-off. It's really interesting. They made an American series. Yeah. And then there will be a Brazilian, an Indian, an Italian, and a UK series that are not spin-offs, but in-depth elongations of the story. So you can watch them all separately, or you can watch. It's really interesting. It's the first time that a network is doing. That's awesome. That's so cool. I'm an Italian one, and I love it because I'm half Italian. Yeah. And there's a really cool lead. I think. Oh my God! I think anyone who loves Warrior Nun will love her. It's Matilda Angelis. And she is one cool mama fighting as well. She's really strong, and she's also done a lot of work. Nice. So I think you will love it. And I don't know what the Italian. It's probably going to be Diana. Okay. The name. But it's the Italian Citadel version. Awesome. Yeah, watch out for that one. I think all Warrior Nun fans will love that.
Love it. Okay, amazing. So we've got Narcosis, Citadel / Diana. Everybody keep an eye on Thekla's socials to make sure that we know where to see those. I'm absolutely pumped. I saw that Narcosis won, was it a Portuguese film festival or something? Amazing. Yes. It looks incredible. So I'm very, very excited to see it.
Thank you.
Do you have 2 minutes left to do something really, really quickly? Yes. Okay, so a little.
Not the holiday.
Pardon?
Not the holiday thing.
The holiday thing.
I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at that.
Just go with the vibes. Go with a really, really quick thought. So Thekla already knows. Her enthusiasm is jumping off the screen. It is a very quick game. Just where I'm going to say a Warrior Nun character. Thekla is going to tell me where they would like to go on holiday. Okay, so first character is Lilith.
I think they should all come to Amsterdam. That's what I think. I mean, I don't want to.
I respect it.
I'm proud of my hometown. Yeah. Lilith. Did you say Lilith?
Yep.
think Amsterdam.
Okay, love it. Yasmin?
Maybe Egypt or something.
Yeah, nice. Somewhere a little bit like that. Adriel. Let's just send him on a boat somewhere. Just send him away.
I was gonna say the Titanic.
Yeah, perfect. Love it. Beatrice.
Beatrice. Oh, I really something like Maldives or something.
Yes, somewhere nice and calm. Ava.
For a break. Let's Ava go with her, please.
Yeah.
Kiss it out, talk it out, whatever.
Camilla. I think she'd do well in Sydney, honestly.
Oh, okay, I'll send her to Sydney. Yeah, I'll send her to Sydney.
Thank you.
Cool.
Jillian, where would you like to get her to go just to calm down?
Jillian, I do think Kenya or something.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Lovely. I think that suits her great. I realized I forgot Michael on this list. I think Michael can be the last one.
Michael, I think it would be really great for them to have a long, beautiful time.
I think that sounds like the gorgeous way for them to spend their time.
Christian, darling, why don't you go? Although you betrayed me completely, you're so lost. Maybe I would send him to Rome.
Perfect.
To go himself. Yeah.
Love it. Perfect. So yeah, that's the end. Thank you so much for joining me. It's just been my absolute pleasure. And I would love to speak to you again in the future, whether it be if we do get more Warrior Nun or about anything else, because I just adore you and your career, and you're such a wonderful actor and such a wonderful person. So yeah, I would love to speak with you again.
Thank you. Do contact me and let me know.
Absolutely. And so everybody, please don't forget to stream Warrior Nun on Netflix. It's going to move. Don't worry about it. And also, please, if you can, subscribe to me. I will be chatting more about Warrior Nun and more diverse and queer media in the future. So yeah, Thekla, just have the most lovely day. And yeah, I'll speak to you again very soon.
Nice.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.